Russian interests manipulated, Julian? Do you have a sense for that?
You know, it's possible that the Russians tried to do something to influence the election. Actually, the National Academy did a study of this. They couldn't find any detectable effect. But the whole question is kind of a joke. If you want to look at interference in U.S. elections, it's right in front of your eyes. The interference in U.S. elections by private wealth and corporate power is simply overwhelming. I mean, interference with U.S. elections is massive domestically. In comparison, whatever Russia might have done is like a straw in a haystack. Quite apart from that, does the U.S. interfere in elections? I mean, to the extent of overthrowing governments if we don't like them. It's kind of serious interference. And it goes all the way down from that, including Russian elections. The 1996 Russian election, Clinton not only interfered enough to get his candidate elected, but was very proud of it. It wasn't hidden, nor is it overhidden when we overthrow other governments. I mean, it's hard even to talk about this topic. It's so meaningless.
Many on the left don't consider Julian Assange to be a journalist.
It's basically absurd to deny that Julian Assange is a journalist. He's a publisher, essentially on the same level as the New York Times or anybody else. His methods are different in the digital era, essentially. His interest in investigative reporting that results in classified leaks is shared by the New York Times, but he's much more tenacious and aggressive in very useful work. Now, many people on the left and progressive people in general are outraged at Julian Assange for his journalism in 2016 during the campaign. After all, Donald Trump thanked him for that, and with reason, and regarded it as helpful to his campaign, along with a number of other things that were helpful to his campaign. I think that's right, and that, of course, outraged many people. And the effects of it, to the extent that it helped Donald Trump, are deplorable, I would say, as we've seen for the last 3 years, generally. I personally don't judge the journalistic judgment or of someone that I regard as a friend, but who has been essentially in one room for over 7 years. I wouldn't trust my judgment under those conditions, and I don't think his was showed to good effect. Was good. It was bad, in my opinion, during that period. But to say that it's not journalism is like saying that Fox News is not journalism. You can call it propaganda with reason. You can call it a government spokesperson, or of Trump entirely, or Breitbart News. But they are, in my opinion, do the freedoms and protection of the First Amendment as journalists. To say that it's not journalism is ridiculous and dangerous. To say that it's journalism that's helpful to opposing political views or something was true in 2016. For these same leftists and progressives, it was not true when I stood by him in 2010. That's what he's indicted for. The channels he gave, WikiLeaks, to Chelsea Manning, then Bradley Manning, at that time, were, I think, journalism at its best.